Hey guys, welcome to the channel where we take Ashes of Creation updates and molten them down and boil them into the golden nuggets that you want. If that sounds interesting to you, why not try to hit the subscribe button? I heard that's an interesting experience as well. In this video, we're going to be talking about why you should be excited to play Ashes of Creation. I'm going to be watching a video with my brother. I hope you enjoy. And so I don't want to hype it up too much because you might hate it, but I want to show you this video that Peon made.
Who is it? Who made it?
He's called the Lazy Peon.
Okay.
So he plays a million MMORPGs. Like he's played World of Warcraft, like even those like anime ones. Like he plays like every single one, and he like writes review videos about it. So this is his review video about Ashes of Creation, and so it's, yeah, so it's pretty awesome. I just want to watch it with you because I'm hoping to get you excited too, so that we can play this when it comes out.
Sweet. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. And I'll try.
With the recent news of Amazon's New World being delayed until 2021 and many hungry MMO fans being disappointed by this news, I decided that today I want to talk about the upcoming MMORPG that I personally believe to be the most promising, Ashes of Creation. Before we jump into it though, this video has no sponsor and took me a crazy amount of time to make, both with research, fact checking and editing. So if you'd like to support my work for free, this game has an affiliate program that everyone who makes an account has access to. My link to this can be found in the description below, and all signups to Ashes of Creation before September receive a small in-game statue for your house to commemorate our struggles through COVID-19. So for those of you that have never heard of the game before, what is Ashes of Creation? Ashes of Creation is a Western-made sandpark MMORPG that's focused on a strong mix of both PvP and PVE content. This game was initially kickstarted 3 years ago, but was already fully funded to completion via private investment from the game's creative director, Stephen Sharif. Unlike many of the Eastern MMOs that have had Western releases over the past few years, Ashes of Creation has consistently said from day one that there will be no pay to win in this game. Due to this, the game will operate with a no box cost subscription fee business model with a cosmetic only cash shop. The thing that makes Ashes of Creation the MMORPG that I'm personally the most excited for is the sheer scope of the project. This game seems to be combining all the best aspects from all the top MMOs over the past 10 years and combining it into one game, with all of that being tied together by the game's most unique feature, its node system.
Dude, the graphics look so good.
Throughout the world of Ashes of Creation, there's points of interest on the map called nodes. These nodes are basically areas that can progress to different stages of civilizational development as players kill monsters, quest, gather, and adventure within that node's area of influence. Starting out day one when the game first launches, the world will be pretty empty, but let's say you and a group of friends all decide to kill mobs and gather in a certain area. Over time you'll be contributing XP to that area's node, and an expedition will appear with quests. As more players are drawn to that area, it will level up into an encampment with more quests, more NPCs, and more opportunity. After that, the node levels up into a village, town, city, and finally a giant sprawling metropolis with more opportunity, world events and quests appearing at each stage of development. Now that's a very simplified explanation of the Ashes of Creation node system, but on top of that there's also a lot of variables within this system. For example, at launch there will be 103 different possible node locations, and the location of that node dictates the quests and world events triggered upon development. At this point you're probably thinking, well, what happens when every node reaches its final stage? Wouldn't that become boring? Well, due to how the system's designed, this isn't possible. In leveling up one node, you lock out the possibility for adjacent nodes to grow to the same size. To change this and de-level a node so that adjacent nodes can progress, players will need to participate in a PvP node siege to destroy a city, for example, so the town node near to it has room to grow and different content can then be unlocked. The way this system is designed intends for long-term player-driven replayability, where each server will have a different history history of development and unlocked content. No two servers will be the same, an MMORPG with a true ever-changing world. When it comes to node aesthetics, there will also be a lot of diversity here too, as the node will take on the architectural appearance of the race that contributed the most XP to its development. So let's say a guild of orcs went to an area and contributed the most XP to a node, building it up to a town. You've then got a town with an orcish aesthetic. Maybe a guild of dwarves wanted to explore a node in the mountains. They could eventually have their own dwarven city in the mountains. The aesthetic of the node changes at every level of development based on the race that contributes the most XP to the node. On top of all this, each node...
Dude, I just have to pause. Doesn't that sound so awesome?
Dude, that's legit.
Dude, we were just talking about the end game for like World of Warcraft, right? Dude,
Yeah.
This end game seems so much more interesting where like different, like you lock out different dungeons and like different mobs and quests and stuff depending on like the node system. And so you actually have to like tear down cities in order to rebuild the other ones to like unlock different content.
To expand your own or to try something new or...
Yeah. Anyway.
Node in the world will be assigned one of 4 possible node types, with each having unique benefits. You've got divine, economic, militaristic, and scientific node types. Advancing a scientific node over an economic node, for example, will give different building options for players to manage in the node, such as libraries, colleges, and artisan buildings, whereas if they leveled up an economic node, they could build markets, stock exchanges, and trade-focused buildings. Each node, upon hitting the village stage of development, will have a 1-week cooldown before node elections begin. In this, players can try to become the mayor of the node. As a mayor, you get to allocate resources, set the tax rate, and initiate quests to advance the node, as well as choose building projects contained within that node. The way the mayoral election system is designed is different for each node type. For scientific nodes, it's a popularity contest where you vote another player in. For economic nodes, it goes to the highest bidder. For divine nodes, the player with the most node-related service quests completed will become the mayor, and militaristic node mayors will be decided via a last-man-standing battle royale type minigame where players interface through a champion rather than their own character. Obviously, bad mayors will be a thing that exists in this game, so every month the election process will happen again so that other players have the chance to challenge for mayor. Other than its node system, Ashes of Creation is also aiming to have a diverse range of content to appeal to pretty much every type of MMORPG player. Let's start with some of the PvP content that will be present in this game.
Graphics are way better than World of
PvP
Warcraft.
content in
look
Ashes
so
consists of open world flagging, Caravan PVP, Duels, Battlegrounds, castle sieges,
Dude, just the
node
fact that you can
sieges,
be a
arenas,
mayor of a
and guild
node is
wars.
freaking awesome.
But before all of you PvE players get scared off at the thought of open world PvP, you'll be happy to know that this game has anti-grief mechanics in the form of its corruption system. When it comes to corruption, players have 3 states: green, non-combatant; purple, combatant; red, corrupted. I've displayed an image on screen that shows how this system works, but from the point of view of a non-combatant PvE player minding their own business, if another player comes up to you and kills you, they will become corrupted and receive ever-growing penalties the more innocent players they decide to kill. Eventually, corrupted players can drop their items which can be looted by other players, they'll also lose more experience upon death, and also feel dampening in PvP so they become weaker. Corruption gained is also greater based on the level disparity, so a high level randomly killing a new low level player really isn't worth it. Additionally, the game will have a bounty system where players with high corruption score will appear on the map for bounty hunters to track down and kill for rewards, and NPC guards will also attack corrupted players on site, limiting their access to services within nodes.
be
The
a
Caravan
bounty
PvP
hunter.
system in Ashes is designed to
Go
bring
hunt
risk
down
versus
people that are,
reward
like, killing other
gameplay.
guys.
Due to storage being localized to each node and different areas of the map having easier or harder access to certain resources, players will need to transport goods between nodes via caravans. When a caravan is spawned, it will create a moving open world PvP zone. When players approach the caravan, they'll be given 3 options: attack, defend, or ignore. Caravans can transport goods from more than one player at a time, and I can imagine this system alone will bring about the existence of mercenary guilds who attack caravans or defend them when paid by other players. Castle Sieges will be a monthly event in which guilds can fight in a 250 vs 250 battle to take control of one of the 5 castles in the world. Node Sieges are different to Castle Sieges and are the catalyst for change in the world. Node Sieges can last up to 2 hours. If a node is successfully defended, it can't be attacked for a certain period of time in relation to the level of that node. A village, for example, can't be attacked for another 20 days, whilst a metropolis cannot be attacked for 50 days if successfully defended. Additionally, once a node siege is declared, there's a period of time where many services in the node are shut down in preparation for war.
Awesome.
For a village siege, there's 2 days notice, and for metropolis, there's 5 days notice. These node sieges can only be declared within a certain period of the server's prime time to give everyone a chance to attend. If a node siege is successful, the node is reset to 0, and players with resources stored in that node will lose some of those resources, and real space player housing will also be destroyed. Guild Wars are another separate PvP system in Ashes of Creation which basically allows guilds to declare war on each other and receive certain objectives to meet a victory condition.
Dude, so we're creating a guild for this reason. We can have our guild go up and fight against another guild in a guild war.
And then we all go capture a node and start building it up, and then we have to defend it. And
I know. Yeah, well, because there's the node wars, but then there's also guild wars on top of that. Where, you might explain it here in a second, but basically you can go to war with another guild. So if you see people from that guild out in the open, you can kill them with no penalty because you're at war with them.
Okay, yeah.
And alternatively, you can become allies with other guilds where you see them in the world, and if you work with them in the world, then you get extra combat buffs or trade benefits and stuff. So I don't know. So just the idea of us starting a guild would be freaking awesome,
dude.
This system isn't fully fleshed out as of making this video, but it seems like a more in-depth version of what Black Desert Online currently has, with objective-based components mixed into it too. Guilds can be at war against multiple other guilds at the same time, and guild wars operate outside of the game's corruption PvP flagging system. I think duels, battlegrounds, and arenas are fairly self-explanatory features that Ashes of Creation will have that we all like to see in MMOs, but overall, when it comes to the PvP content this game will have, it sounds like everything I've ever wanted in an MMO, from the risk versus reward of the caravan system, to node sieges being the catalyst for change in the world, to the prestige of your guild owning one of the 5 castles on the server. It seems like this game has PvP content for everyone from casual to hardcore and everything in between.
Dude, this
PVE content will play a massive role in Ashes of Creation and features content in the form of quests, open world dungeons, instanced dungeons, open world raids, instanced raids, world bosses, and monster coin events, as well as all the activities related to the growth of nodes. PVE dungeon and raid content in Ashes will be designed for group sizes of 8, 16 and 40 players. This game will feature a mix of both open world dungeons and raids, as well as instanced dungeons and raids, with 80% of them being open world and 20% of them being instanced. There will be no group finder in this game, so you'll need to join guilds and find party members via social interaction if you want to partake in a lot of PVE content. The way open world dungeons and raids will work is that they increase in difficulty the deeper you venture inside. At the entrance you might be fighting weaker, lower level mobs with fewer mechanics, but as you get deeper into the dungeon you'll fight tougher enemies with more mechanics and better loot. Additionally, something you need to bear in mind is that all of the PvE content that's available in Ashes depends on the location of the nodes that the community decides to develop. One server may have access to completely different raids and dungeons to another server, purely because their nodes develop differently in different locations. So unlike other MMORPGs, the endgame PvE content really isn't a linear progression. It can't be a linear progression because different raids and dungeons will be locked or unlocked depending on where nodes are developed and what stage they're at. So in a way, it could also be in a PvE player's best interest to participate in a PvP node siege to reset the node that unlocks a certain raid, so that another node can then be developed which unlocks a different raid. A fun, unique piece of PvE content that I think a lot of people will enjoy in Ashes is its monster coin system. This is an event that either spawns randomly or following the advancement of a node, in which a horde of NPC monsters will spawn and attack the node. During this time, players can use an item called a monster coin, which they can receive as a rare drop in game, to turn into a monster and assist the NPCs in attacking the node against other players. During a monster coin event, the node can't be destroyed, but buildings, services and NPCs can be disabled for a period of time. Quests in Ashes of Creation are divided up into 3 categories: events, tasks, and narrative quests. Events are things that happen in Ashes as a result of the development of the world. Successfully completing an event will have positive consequences such as buffs, and failing events will have negative consequences such as natural disasters or node services being unavailable for a period of time. Tasks are quests without excess.
Wait, so like an example of that is like, maybe there's a world event where a volcano is going to explode, and like everyone has to get together and like stop the volcano from exploding. And if they don't, like the volcano will wipe out like all the nodes.
Come and take out the node. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Dang.
I don't know. That's just
Massive
that's
amounts
just
of text and
It's so
story
cool.
around them, such as collect X resources to help build a blacksmith for the node. And narrative quests are more traditional story quests that can be personal to your class, race, or the region of the world you're in, with some of these story arcs being locked behind further development of the nodes. If I was a role player, Ashes of Creation is without a doubt the MMORPG I'd be looking forward to the most. This game's being designed with so many great RP features to really add that extra level of immersion. First, let's talk about the extensive player housing system. This game will have 3 types of player housing: instanced apartments, real space open world freeholds, and static housing within nodes. Each of these 3 types of player housing become available once a node reaches village stage or higher. Instanced apartments will become available in a node if a mayor decides to construct apartment buildings within an empty plot. These will work similar to the housing system in BDO, where you approach an apartment door and you've got a list of options for whose apartment you want to visit. Static housing within nodes are real space player housing that players can buy that will be visible to everyone. You'll be able to decorate the front of your house with yard ornaments, seamlessly enter and exit, and see your house grow from a small cottage to a mansion as the node levels up. Freeholds are large real space player housing plots that can be situated within the zone of influence of a node, but not actually inside the node. Think of static housing as buying a townhouse that grows in size over time with the node, but freeholds as owning a set size plot of land in the countryside. Freeholds are roughly half an acre in size, and due to limited space in the world, players can only own one of these per account, whereas apartments and in-node housing are limited to 1 per server. There's many buildings you'll be able to place on your freehold, such as a blacksmith, stables, and other stuff related to crafting, role-playing, and other life skill-related content players might want to partake in. Each of these 3 forms of player housing will allow players to decorate them with furniture, some of which is functional, others just cosmetic, and when a node's destroyed, players will lose their housing. However, a template will be mailed to them so they can quickly load the layout of their housing hassle-free when they eventually find a new home. As with every good roleplay MMO, Ashes of Creation will feature a wide range of races.
Wait, so before we get into this, the housing. So
Yeah.
I'm not like as into the role playing side of things. Like, sure, I'll like build a house and stuff. I'm not gonna spend like hours decorating it. At least I don't think. Who knows? Maybe when the game comes out, I'll change my mind. But what's really cool is like the 3 different types of housing. One of the housing is you can buy it in a node, like where your house is in the node, and what's really cool about that is that item is like sellable, so you can like sell and buy in houses inside the node. So this isn't like your countryside house, this is like your city house. And but there's only like 5 houses available in the node, you know, so they're gonna be in like super high demand, so they're gonna go for crazy amounts of gold. But can you imagine like if like the game starts, me and you run out into the mountains somewhere, like build up our own node, and then we buy the houses like at an early stage. As the node progresses, like the houses get better and better, and like in the houses you have like hey, by the way, thanks Enos. Hey, thanks for checking out. What's up for you? But just like imagine you go like in the housing, you can have like storage, you can have like an alchemy station, you can have like a blacksmith station and stuff like in your nodes. So I don't know. It makes me want to like get in node housing, so I don't have to like run all the way to my country house every time I want to do something.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so Enos, this is this is a PC game. We're not playing it. We're just watching a movie for it right now. It's called Ashes of Creation. It's freaking awesome. We're just getting hyped about it because we're wanting we started a Discord server and everything just for this game, but it's not going to come out till next year sometime.
Currently, the game is planning on 9 playable races for launch, each of which have different cultures, which will be reflected in the appearance of nodes that they contribute to the most. You've got 2 different variations of humans, dwarves, elves, orcs, and a race called the Tulnar, which live underground.
Wait. I just want to stop this. Can you read my screen?
Yeah.
You can? Okay. So I haven't really looked at these races yet, but these look pretty awesome. It's like we got the humans, we have like the Persian traders, the dwarves, these almost look like islander dwarves.
Yeah.
Then we have like these big, mean orcs. Oh yeah, is this an orc race? Yeah, this has got to be. This has got to be the orc race. The Vec, Celestial Purpose. This must be. It seems like they're paired together, like 2 human races, 2 dwarf races. Like this has got to be another orc race.
Okay. And then elf races.
And then elf races, yeah, like the high elves and then the woodland elves. Dude, which one would you be if like you had to pick one? I feel like I don't want to pick the wrong one, you know? Like I would have to like do so much work and like I would have to like do my research. But
I know. Off the top though, I would probably I don't know. I want to go for like the like islander dwarfs.
Really?
The Nikua.
Uh-huh.
They just look cool and unique. Like I've never played a character like that before. Whereas like I've played humans, I've played elves, I've played dwarfs, I've played, orcs and stuff, but I haven't played like an islander kind of character.
Yeah. And I don't think like dwarf would be my first go-to regularly like in other games, but in this game like this is just such a unique race. Like
it is unique, yeah. I mean, and like the Vec looks pretty unique. It looks like an orc race, but it looks like it's different from like the traditional
just big
like
mean orc
cliche. Yeah
like I always like lean towards elves and stuff, but maybe they're I don't know, I feel like I overdo it sometimes in games.
Well, and I mean yeah, you always have leaned towards elves. The first time we ever played World of Warcraft, you were a night elf.
Yeah,
that was like 10 years ago, so
I know.
So they are, the thing is, the elves always look super sleek and nice and classy, and so they are tempting.
But I feel like but I feel like when this game comes out, it's like a brand new start to something, and it might be fun to like try something else.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, why I'm kind of leaning towards the Nikua.
Yeah. I feel like if we would have to pick a node like close to the water with these guys.
Yeah, and we would have to do research to find out what, would be best for that kind of character.
Yeah. And there's like a lot here to read. Where the dinner saw mountains as a home, Nikua saw as a prison. Now they can complete the hunt out. The great hunt inside a cave. The craft and their brothers doesn't allude to them. Yeah, so this is basically like the anti-cave mountain dwarfs, like anywhere but mountains and caves.
Okay.
I don't know. That's cool. We'll keep watching. We can talk more.
Yeah. And I don't know what race like lives in caves and mountains, but that looked cool. When it briefly said it a minute
the
ago.
idea of like running out into the mountains and starting like a.
I don't remember which one that was, but that one looked cool.
Well, he made it seem like any race could, like if you just get a whole bunch of night elves and run out into the mountains, like I'm sure we could have a night elf mountain. I say night elf because of World of Warcraft, but like an elfin mountain. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. I kind of glitched out.
Oh, all good. Yeah, so definitely not humans. I don't know. They just seem boring to me. Like I would have to. I'm kind of interested in these like orc people, but
yeah.
When we get closer to the launch, I'm sure they'll have more information about each race. I also want to see like the buildings of each race. You know what I mean? Like with the aesthetic.
Islander buildings don't look super appealing.
Yeah, it's like grass huts and stuff.
Yeah, like I know what a grass hut looks like and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to make that really unique in order to be appealing, but that's why I really liked the underground
idea of it.
The idea, yeah.
Yeah, but the underground race isn't even listed here.
Is that the 9th? Because I remember it said 9 races, and I'm only seeing 8. So I'm wondering if that was the 9th race.
The 9th one was the underground race. Hey, Leo, stream looks good, resolution's good, sound is good, green screen clean too, just in case you wonder. Hey, thanks, I appreciate that. I'm glad everything's looking really good. Hey, by the way, Ethan, we're live streaming this too, so we have... Yeah, we got a couple people watching. But yeah, I'm most interested in the underground race.
Yeah, I want to know more about that, especially because it's not
different variations of
right here.
Yeah, wait, he had a
quick little 30-second thing.
Yeah, it's right here. Let me go back to it.
Planning on 9 playable races.
So here are the 9 races, and you can see humans, elves, orcs, dwarves. Okay, so
okay, yes, we got that right. Yeah, the Vec are the other orcs, elves.
Yeah.
But what's the 9th? There's only 8 there.
It's also interesting because there's not alliance and horde. Like it kind of makes everyone seem good, or a viable option. You're not picking the good guys or the bad guys.
That's true.
But this is for launch, each of which have different cultures, which will be reflected in the appearance of nodes that they contribute to the most. You've got 2 different variations of humans, dwarves, elves, orcs, and a race called the Tolnar, which live...
Okay, we gotta be the Tolnar. Tolnar. Who wouldn't pick this race?
I know, it looks really cool to me.
Yeah, I know this is the only art, but the idea of just a single race that's not like the other ones, who lives underground in caves and stuff, that just seems freaking awesome.
But at the same time, it's everybody's gonna be that race,
yeah.
But I'm that's not gonna stop me from trying it.
I feel I feel like this race isn't unlockable until something, they're gonna put this behind
probably
a progression wall. At least I felt that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Underground. Different races will have different racial abilities, and each race will have different base stats. However, there will be no gender lock for any of the races, and every race can play as every class. Other nice RP features the game will have include an extensive emote system with interactable furniture, the ability to lean against scenery, sit on benches and dance with other players. You'll be able to play parlor games with other players inside of taverns, some being dice games, others involving cards. You'll be able to join different types of social organizations in the game.
Wait, did you ever play The Witcher?
No, I mean I started, but I only put an hour into it.
Okay, I got really into their card game inside the game. I don't know.
Okay.
So that just
such as the Scholars Academy, Thieves Guild, or Traders Company. And there'll also be a marriage mechanic in the game that may unlock special quests and further functionality with player housing. Overall,
that's cool.
Yeah, well, would you marry me if I'm just kidding, bro.
No.
Well, from a roleplay perspective, it seems as though there's going to be more than enough choices and customization in Ashes of Creation that each player's journey in this game will be completely unique, and it will also have all the immersive social elements that can help bring people together in an MMO. Professions and life skills in Ashes of Creation are referred to as Artisan classes. These are split into 3 different trees: gathering, processing, and crafting. Gathering professions consist of fishing, herbalism, lumberjacking, mining, and animal taming. Processing professions...
Taming, dude.
Dude.
Like, I don't know.
I wonder if you'll be able to tame mounts.
Dude, that seems awesome. Like, I feel like we've already done all the other ones in like World of Warcraft or other games, but taming seems cool.
Basically refine raw material via the use of certain freehold buildings, such as forges to process ore into bars, lumberyards processing logs to planks, and so on. Crafting professions consist of alchemy, armor smithing, blacksmithing, carpentry, cooking, jewel crafting, scribing, shipbuilding, siege weapon building, and weaponsmithing.
Dude, that's cool.
Dude, this is so cool.
It's just so much more. It has everything World of Warcraft has, but more.
I
mean, maybe not everything World of Warcraft has, but
hey, Leo, sorry, 1 second, Leo Coach. If you don't have it, tidylabs.stream is good for overlays. Okay, cool. Thanks, Leo. Yeah, man, this has so much more. I feel like.
Yeah.
Shipbuilding just seems so cool to me.
Yeah. I mean, there's anything comparable to that in World of Warcraft.
I know, and in this game, like, it doesn't go into this video but this game like has a whole naval component to it too.
Man,
so
because I bet you some of these nodes are coastal, and you have to protect from from a naval siege, you know.
Yeah. But
so I bet that's where like this siege weapons comes in, and shipbuilding is you have to build these weapons to protect your node.
Yeah, and that just sounds so cool. Like, they just like how you can ride mounts around on land, you can at docks and stuff. You can have your own ship, and like these are like huge ships for like guilds, and also like small personal ships. But there's like quests and dungeons like out on other islands or like I don't know. So like that just seems so cool. So like part of me is like, well, the node housing doesn't look super good for the islander dwarves. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But maybe they are like the race for like naval stuff. You know what I mean?
Shipbuilding and yeah.
So that just seems so cool. Yeah.
Reals.
The carpentry is way cool too. I feel like
I know, that's interesting.
I feel like carpentry and blacksmithing are gonna have to do with like player housing, you know, like build items for player housing, and then siege weapons, weaponsmithing is gonna be like maybe more for gear. Shipbuilding.
And the thing is too, you'll have to have like everyone in your guild will have to take on different roles. You know, like you're not gonna want to have like 5 carpenters in your guild. Right, there won't be much point to that. You're gonna have to be like, we already have a carpenter. We need a jewel crafter, or we need someone that can smith weapons.
Yeah, and in this one, you can't be everything. Like in World of Warcraft, you can like pick 2 of these, you know. But in this one, you only pick 1, and then you have a secondary one. That's like where you can't do everything in the secondary one, but maybe some stuff. And so you're going to have to like organize in your guilds like, hey, we're going to have people that are just their main one is gathering, you know? And then we can have people that their main one is like processing, where they like take ore that's gathered and put it into bars. And then we'll have people that their main one is this. And
so this is sounding a lot more like team playing more than just...
Yes.
Because
dude.
Like on World of Warcraft, I'm part of a guild, but I don't really interact with any of them.
No, it's only when you need something.
And I do,
Hey,
and
Leo,
only when I need
we'll catch
something.
You later. Anyway,
but most of the time, I just go onto the auction house to look for what I need, and then I just buy it, and I never interact with people, right?
Yeah.
So, but this is gonna be more like you have to have
like a group of people.
Yeah, a minimum of X number of players, whatever, and you all have to work together and have a process.
Right. And like communicate together and stuff.
Yeah, which
And
would be awesome.
yeah. Yeah. So like I feel like there's a lot more that I know about this and I want to talk to you about this, but I think we should watch on because you might cover some of it.
Okay, yeah.
In this game, each character will only be able to truly master one profession. You'll be unable to master multiple. You'll still be able to progress with multiple professions, but not to the extent of mastery. This is to create the need for community interaction and create a sense of identity. Crafting in Ashes of Creation is also being designed so that it won't become irrelevant like in other MMOs. Crafted gear will be on par with the highest tier drops from raid bosses, and due to being limited to mastery of only one artisan class, guilds will have to organize multiple people to meet their crafting and gathering needs to initiate sieges, complete projects, and contribute to the node. Personally, the profession I'm most excited for is animal husbandry, as you'll be able to breed different animals together to create some really weird and wonderful mounts.
Wait, I didn't see that profession.
That's so cool.
Animal husbandry? Okay, maybe I want to do that one. That one's freaking awesome.
Dude, you just make crazy mounts.
Yeah.
The class system in Ashes of Creation is quite interesting and leads to a lot of variety. First, you'll start out by picking a primary class archetype between Bard, Cleric, Fighter, Mage, Ranger, Rogue, Summoner, and Tank. Eventually, as you progress with your primary class, you'll get to choose a secondary class out of the same 8 options I previously mentioned. So choosing to be a Mage, then Fighter for example, would give you the overall class of Battle Mage. With this system, there's a possibility of 64 different class combinations which are displayed on screen now.
Whoa. Dude. This is freaking awesome. So like tank is its own class, you know? Like it's not like you're a fighter and then you like
and then within that you're a tank.
Yeah, like tank's its own thing. They have summoners, which I don't know if it's like a death knight or something, or if it's like you have like a army of like 10 minions, you know, that you're just like running around killing things with. But that just seems super awesome.
Dude. And then within that, you've got different, like you have like your class, but then your subclass, right?
Right.
Where,
like for example,
so they're all the same across, right? Like you have the same 8 options either direction, but you can pick and choose. So you could be a cleric, which would kind of boost those cleric, you know,
like it makes
things, give you a high priest as opposed to, you know, a Templar or whatever, but like...
So the max level is 50, and so at level 25, you can pick your second class.
Get your secondary.
But your second class completely, like, modifies your abilities at the beginning, you know? So... So, like, if you do cleric, and then you do, like, fighter, like, all of a sudden when you're, like...
You go just from being a cleric to like, because cleric is a very specific class,
right?
But then you throw in the fighter aspect to that class.
Yeah, and if you're like,
totally changes.
I feel like clerics are known for like healing. You know what I mean? And so like, if you weren't cleric, you're just like a high priest, like amazing at healing.
You're just like a healer. But then if you throw a fighter in there, then you're like a paladin,
which is like freaking cool. Like. If you go like Ranger Mage, it's called a Scion? Scion? But dude, like, can you imagine you're just like shooting freaking like thunderbolts through your bow or I don't know. Like,
Dude.
So I feel like if you went Ranger, I feel like that's just boring. Like Rogue, Assassin.
Which is what it's been in World of Warcraft, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're a ranger, you're a hunter, and you really just are a hunter.
Yeah, and they had like warlocks and stuff too, but like you could be a summoner and be like a blood warden, like a tank summoner, dude. Wild Blade, man. Some of these are like really like fun and interesting.
Yeah,
I know, it makes me excited.
It'd be so hard to pick, dude.
I know, just because they all seem so cool.
The tank, you have to have many characters.
I know. Yeah, yeah,
To
yeah.
try all these different combinations and different races.
Yeah, dude. Let's keep watching because that ties into what's coming next.
Yeah.
Now, Ashes of Creation will be designed around the Trinity system of tank, healer and DPS. You will not be able to change your class's primary role, however with some effort you will be able to change your secondary role. Weapons and armor will not be class locked, but some classes will obviously be more efficient with certain types of armor and weapons. And when it comes to the game's combat system, it will use a tab target action combat hybrid system. The way this system will work is that each class will have two categories of skills: tab target skills and action combat style skills. Players can choose to have up to 75% of either tab targeting abilities or 75% action combat abilities.
So like tab target is like World of Warcraft, like where you click on a guy and then everything you do attacks that guy. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And then action based are like skill shots. So like if you're gonna shoot your bow, you actually have to aim your bow and fire and like try to hit them.
Okay.
Or like lay down a circle of effect on the ground or something. Like that's like an action based.
But not 100% either way. Personally, the way I'd imagine this system will play out will be something close to Guild Wars 2 or Arcade. However, the action combat side of this combat system is still in development as of making this video, so it's hard to say how the complete system will actually feel. When starting out in Ashes of Creation, you'll first make your character, choose your primary class, then you'll be given the choice to spawn at one of 4 divine gateways in the world. Each race does have their own starter zone and starter quests, but they won't be super mandatory to do, more of a recommendation. There's nothing stopping you as an elf spawning in the dwarven starting area to level with your friend. The world size in Ashes is planned to be truly massive, approximately 480 square kilometers in.
What?
I think it's because like when you are in World of Warcraft, you have like, say I'm gonna be a dwarf. I spawn in the dwarf area, and I have to level up and stuff in the dwarf. I mean, I don't have to. I can travel to Stormwind as a level 1, right? But it's difficult.
But like you have to run through the dwarf area. Like the beginning starting place for dwarves is like a locked area. Like you can't get out unless you walk all the way through all the quests anyway, and then go to and then work your way over.
Exactly. So I think that'll be awesome that you're like, okay, I really want to be this race, and but I already have a guild over here, and so you can choose to spawn over there.
Yeah, it's like
that's cool.
It's way awesome. So like kind of going back to the lore is the idea is that this planet once belonged to these races, but were like wiped out in another dimension. I'm not exactly sure of the lore. I'm gonna have to look at this, but like from the ashes, these like divine portals like are summoning back the people to like take control of the land again. And so I'm sure part of the game arc will be like who brought back these portals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But because it's like portals and it's not like specific race locations, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Size, including both water and land content, as well as a diverse range of biomes ranging from deserts, swamps, plains, forests, snowy mountains, tropical islands.
Wait.
Range of biomes.
It says I thought it said planets, but it says plains, etc. I was like, planets? What the heck? It's like a space game.
Ranging from deserts, swamps, plains, forests, snowy mountains, tropical islands, and everything in between. This game will be fully open world and also features underground zones known as the Underrealm. Ashes of Creation will feature an in-game
It's freaking Pandora
viewable world map. However, Avatar. Starting out, much of it will be covered in a fog of war until areas have been explored and uncovered. Additionally, there will be some zones in the world that will experience all 4 seasons, which will bring about their own events, buffs, debuffs, and farming challenges. Seasons will rotate once each week, with a full 4-season rotation passing by every 4 weeks. When it comes to the leveling, the max level will be 50, and it will take roughly 45 days of playing 4 to 6 hours per day for the average player to level from 1 to 50. So definitely more on the hardcore side of things in that regard.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of modern MMOs, flying mount.
Hey, I kind of like that though. Like I feel
You
like
can't. Yeah.
I can play the game for a long time, and I'm like constantly progressing.
Yeah.
You know.
Whereas in World of Warcraft, I just leveled up a guy to level 20 in like 3 hours.
Yeah, like in 5 minutes you're already level 5. Dude,
Yeah.
and like what's so exciting is the idea of when this game first comes out, it's brand new. Like there's no guide to like leveling fast. Like there's no sense of efficiency. It's all like exploring, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And
100%.
figuring things out for yourself. Like you go into a dungeon, you don't know like how the heck to beat this monster. Like it's trial and error, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be awesome. Just having something new is gonna be great.
It's gonna be so fun.
Will be extremely rare in Ashes of Creation, that's achievable only for guild leaders that own one of the game's 5 castles, the mayor of Metropolis nodes, and through legendary limited time dragon eggs that players might obtain from a world boss. It's unlikely there will ever be more than 10 players per server with temporary access to flying, and when you consider that each server will have a population of between 8 to 10,000 players, seeing them will be really epic. It's also worth mentioning that fast travel will be extremely limited in this game, as the developers want distance to matter. The only form of fast travel that will be possible is if a scientific node reaches the Metropolis stage. At this point, players can construct a building that offers fast travel only to nodes within the Metropolis's zone of influence. But that's pretty much it for my basic explanation of what Ashes of Creation is without going super in depth on stuff. Next I want to talk about why I believe this is the most exciting upcoming MMORPG, and why this game isn't just a pipe dream, rather something many people including myself will be testing with no NDA before the end of this year. First of all, it goes without saying after everything I've just explained about the game, it will be the most ambitious fantasy MMORPG ever attempted. The game will truly have something for everyone. It's not just a PvP MMO or a PvE MMO, it's a genuine PvX MMO that has pretty much everything. Usually when a new MMORPG is announced and they talk about their plans when it comes to game design, it's always vague. There's a ton of question marks on many core systems, and it doesn't take long before players can look at the ideas of the developers and straight up say, this is a bad idea, this won't work. New World has been a perfect example of this since the first time I tried the game in 2018 to recently when it announced its delay. When it comes to the game design of Ashes of Creation, it seems to me that almost every aspect of the game has been clearly thought out, and thanks to years of Q&As between the community and developers, we have a clear blueprint for how this game will actually play out if you care to read it on the Ashes of Creation wiki. When it comes to the core game design systems, there's nothing I'm overly concerned about. Everything seems to make sense and follow a strong design principle of risk versus reward. For me, the only real question mark I have about the game is how fun will the combat be? What does their 75% action tab hybrid combat system actually play like? I think if they can nail that and just follow the blueprint for this game until completion, it will be a guaranteed success. Ashes of Creation is primarily...
Dude, that's gotta be like a battle mage. Like this girl with like a staff that's glowing.
Yeah.
Like,
for this game until completion, it will
like
be a guaranteed success.
I don't know.
Ashes of Creation
so
is
cool.
primarily a privately funded MMORPG made by an MMO fan frustrated by the direction of the genre, who was extremely successful in business earlier in life. Since I first covered this project in 2017, we've seen the studio he created expand to over 100 developers, attracting people from Blizzard, Sony Online Entertainment, Daybreak Games, and more. This year especially, we've seen production for Ashes of Creation ramp up significantly, and in recent live streams we've seen gameplay sessions of many core systems working, such as the Mayoral system, early hybrid combat, real-time node development, open world dungeons, a 40-man raid, the Caravan PVP system, basic professions, and the purchasing of in-node player housing. What's more impressive is the creative director's commitment to transparency, despite the project still likely being a solid 2 years from completion. Sometime this fall, we've been told that people who have access to the game's Alpha 1 test will be able to stream and make content about the game with no NDA. And when you consider that Amazon's New World still has a strict NDA, despite previously being 2 months out from its supposed release, to me shows a lot of confidence in a product. Now, all of that's not to say that Ashes of Creation hasn't had its problems or drama surrounding its development, because it certainly has. Releasing Ashes of Creation Apocalypse, the Battle Royale testing environment on Steam, caused nothing but confusion to the people that were casually following the project, and in the past the community went long periods of time without seeing any tangible gameplay due to an issue where large portions of foundation code had to be rewritten, essentially delaying the game by 1 year. But in 2020 we've really started to see Ashes of Creation come together. Almost every monthly livestream we've been shown new gameplay, we've already had players get into the early Alpha 1 client and talk about their experiences thanks to no verbal NDA, and community perception of the project as a whole has shifted from extremely skeptical to cautiously optimistic. Whilst there's still a long road ahead for Ashes of Creation, I have to say that in the 5+ years I've been a full-time MMORPG YouTuber, this is the only upcoming MMO that I've been able to look at and say to myself, if this game releases, it has a real chance of being the next truly successful MMORPG. Thanks for watching.
Dude.
Dang, man.
I know. If that doesn't get you excited for it, I don't know what will.
I want to play so bad, dude.
I know.
It's awesome.
They said 2 years.
I don't want to wait that long.
I know. So the beta is opening at the end of this year, so you can play their beta zone.
So then, if you're playing beta, will you level up a guy? Will you be able to keep that leveled up guy when they open the game up to everybody?
I don't think so. They have to keep everyone on the same ground when the game launches.
But still, being able to play the beta and become familiar with it would be huge.
Yeah, dude. So I wanna. This is one of the things I thought he was gonna cover in this video, but he didn't. So every month, the developers do a live stream where they show new gameplay footage, showing you what they've been working on that month, and then they talk and answer questions. Anyway, when you kill monsters and stuff in the world, don't drop gold.
Okay.
Instead, what they do is they drop resources. And I can't remember what
Which
they're called.
Which makes sense.
They call them certificates, meaning a bear drops a bear pelt. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And a wolf drops a wolf pelt. And And so all the items and the gear in the game are made off of resources in the world.
So not gold. You don't really need gold to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, he said that there is gold in the game, and there's going to be lots of gold's going to be important, because you can buy these resources with gold.
Yeah.
But the resources themselves are kind of a form of currency. And so for example, instead of in World of Warcraft, your armor just deteriorates by taking damage, and you have to go get it repaired, right? And you just pay gold to repair it. Well, in this game, you have to go get the resource to repair your item.
Okay.
So if you have a really epic sword or axe or something that takes a dragon scale that's super rare, you're gonna either have to go farm dragon scales in order to get it, or you're gonna have to pay someone for their dragon scale. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And so But I think that's awesome because it keeps like a supply and demand in check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the professions are going to be a huge part of it, which is awesome because I like the profession side of things too. And this seems
Me
interesting
too,
and new.
dude. I'm pumped now.
I know. And like what's really cool is in the nodes you store your resources. Like that's where the bank is, you know?
Yeah.
Like and where you store all your resources. And so if your node is under siege, what it does is it locks all of the buildings so you can't withdraw your resources. And if they like successfully destroy your node,
your node,
they get a portion of those resources. Like so like you can imagine like a powerful guild being like, okay, we're taking out this node so we can like loot its resources.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. That seems cool to me, you know, because it gives me incentive to defend my node. And like,
yeah, dude.
It's like your sense of home. You're like, wait, no, this is where I built everything. Like,
yeah, and then you'd have to start from the ground.
And then it also has a sense of like, hey, like if I take out someone else's node, you know what I mean? So
Dude,
I don't know. It just seems like such a cool idea of like this evolving world where like you could be gone for a month and come back and all of a sudden like there's different dungeons and different nodes and stuff.
And your node could be destroyed and yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have to have players on multiple servers too. Yeah, and hop like,
to like see different stuff.
I know, because no server is gonna be the same.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that, but I feel like so much time has to go into just one player, you know? Like I don't know, like it seems
that's very true.
It seems like your first player you have to like really put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah. I mean, what was it, like 45 days with 6 hours a day?
Yeah, like you don't want to get to like level 40 and be like, oh, I don't like this guy. Like I want to change. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's gonna be awesome, dude.
I know. I'm super hyped about it. The art and the graphics and everything looks.
I know. Good. I love this style of graphics way more than World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I like honestly, World of Warcraft is super outdated. Like I feel like the developers could do something crazy like this, you know, but they have to keep in line with the style of sort of cartoony.
Yes, and they've kind of built that style, and so they just hold to that.
Yeah.
This is more of the style of like,
more realistic.
Yeah, it's more realistic. I mean, it reminds me. Oh man, I can't even think of the game.
Skyrim, Morrowind.
Yes, like Skyrim. Yeah, it's like it's that.
The gameplay kind of looked like that too, you know, where you're like slashing your sword, but you have to like face the guy that you're.
Yes.
Like, trying to kill. Yeah. Oh, dude, and what's cool is like they're not going to allow add-ons for the game because they. Like their philosophy is that if people are installing add-ons to like make the game easier to play, then the game itself is
losing value and that makes sense.
And so I love that way of thinking though, because it kind of gives you confidence that they're gonna be willing to change and like improve things if like people are having a hard time with something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they won't allow like multi-boxers like in World of Warcraft. They don't have any pay to win, so like they don't have like a WoW token where you like pay and get gold. Like it's gonna be an actual like driven economy,
which I think is awesome because I hate because there's always those rich kids, you know, who will just pay to level up to. You know, just they'll drop a bunch of money and get the level 120 boosts and just go to the auction house and get the best gear and you know, but knowing that everybody in there has earned what they have, like I don't know, it's a little bit more satisfying and a little bit more respectable too, you know.
Yeah.
Knowing that every high level player, like you worked your way up to be that high level player.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, you know, when you see the high level player with like awesome gear, like, you know, he just like, he worked for it, you know, and he has
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
flying mount. He's like the leader of some guild, and you're like, dude, that guy's just
Mm-hmm.
boss. You know what I mean?
I know, and I'm so sad that there's only going to be like 10 flying mounts
I
per
know.
like 10,000 people on the server. It's like, dude, that's gonna be sad because I love flying. So
Yeah, yeah. I get that too, but I think in one of their live streams they did, they talked about how what the reason they don't have flying is because you never interact with people. Like, if everyone can fly, then you never come across them
on the road
on the
or
road. And because it's open world PvP, right? So like, you can go and just attack anyone you want to.
yeah,
And so like, if everyone can fly, then it totally negates that. Like,
I guess that's true. Yeah,
no one's going to interact and attack. And they said how they want distance to matter, which kind of sucks sometimes, because you're like, man, like, there's this really cool battle going on the other side of the map. Like,
I wish I could just teleport over there.
yeah, it's going to take me 2 hours to walk over there. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like raids not being able to just like teleport in and like destroy your housing and stuff. Like, they have to
Yeah,
like organize and travel. And so like, if you and your buddies like at the very beginning of the game spend an hour running off into like some remote place and like farming stuff up, then that's like your little place, you know? And in order
yeah,
for like people to get there, they have to like walk all the way there too. I don't
yeah,
know. It's just like a cool idea.
yeah. No, that's awesome. I'm pumped. I really want to play it.
Yeah, man. Me too. I'm really excited for it. I'm glad I got you pumped too. So our goal
Yeah,
is in 10 years to be full-time YouTubers, so that we can just do whatever we want and play this game all the time.
whatever, dude. That's my 2-year goal.
Oh, did I say 10 years? I meant 2
You
years.
said 10 year, yeah,
Oh, no way. Psh. By then we're going to be billionaires, and yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
2 years, man. Let's do it.
Cool. Yeah, dude, it would be so good. And we gotta, I'm doing my spending money now. I'm gonna be saving up for for this game.
Yeah. I'm like so tempted to buy the like, they have the option where you can buy like a whole bunch of stuff up front showing like your dedication to it, and then you can be
Yeah,
part of the beta testing. Like,
yeah.
I'm like thinking about doing that, because it's non NDA beta testing too, meaning you can like post it on YouTube, and you can, I don't
Okay,
know.
they don't care if you share what you know.
Yeah.
Is that
Like,
what that is?
yeah, they don't care if you share it, talk about it, like make how-to videos, like they're, so I don't know. Part of me like
Cool.
really wants to save up and do that just so I could
Dude.
try it out.
Yes,
Do
I'll
you,
do it with you.
do you think that's gonna like ruin part of the magic though? It's because like, you're gonna enter the game in an unfinished state where there's bugs and maybe things aren't fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where you like do a dungeon, and you're like, this is actually not fun at all. It's like too grindy, and I'm like here for hours, and I'm not getting anything cool, or I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, do you think it would
yeah.
ruin it?
I don't, I don't think it would. I think it'd be fun to be part of that process to see, oh yeah, these bugs, but then go back in and you report it, right? That's part of beta testing is you are reporting what you're experiencing to the creators.
Yeah, like giving as
And
much
so,
feedback as you can.
yeah, you're giving a lot of feedback, right? That's the point. And so I think being a part of that and like you report, hey, yeah, this dungeon was horrible, it
Yeah,
glitched or whatever, like whatever it is, and then you go back a week later and it's good. They went and fixed it, like
yeah, or even
being a
like,
part of it would be cool.
yeah, I agree. And like, even like maybe larger content where it's like, hey, like, it's cool that you have ships in the game, but it's just like not fun because of these reasons. Like, for some reason, like, yeah, I can drive around on water, but that's all you can do. Like, it'd be cool if there's like a
Yeah.
kraken that you'd have to like fight off, or I don't know.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you could give them sort of larger gameplay feedback too, so that they can make that better.
exactly. Yep.
It's cool that
Yep.
this game has been totally funded by the owner. So
yeah,
and so they're not like I feel like with World of Warcraft it was so political where they like were doing stupid stuff like WoW tokens and things to appeal to the board of directors to like get their sales and money up, you know? Where this game is like fully funded and is just trying to be an awesome game.
Well, and what this video said was that this guy was very successful business wise, and he was just kind of sick with how these MMORPG games were headed, like the whole like
loot boxes,
the whole like the whole genre of this style was just going in the wrong direction, and so he was like, yeah, I'll make my own.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's nice to have one guy who has played these, who's experienced it, who knows what makes a good game, and creating one to, be something awesome for everyone.
Yeah, the owner of Intrepid Studios, who's making this game, they made a production game company just for this game. But the owner of this game, the CEO, he played an MMORPG for 10 years and he was like a guild leader and stuff. And so I can't remember what game he played. It wasn't World of Warcraft. But it kind of gives me confidence that like he's already in this world, so he knows like kind of how people feel about stuff and he has opinions, and it's not just like a business to him, like he actually wants to have fun. And
exactly. If you gotta share your referral code.
What does the referral code do? Like I don't know what benefits that gives me or you, but
I'm not sure. We could try it because I just went to create an account.
Did you make one?
Not yet. I haven't signed up yet because there's a slot to add a referral code.
Yeah, use my referral code.
You want to read it off to me and I'll enter it.
Yeah, I for sure do. Let me just find it.
Because I think that's what that guy put at the beginning of his video. Is he said, hey, this isn't sponsored. I made this all on my own. I'd appreciate it if you use my referral code to create an account.
And for you guys like watching this stream and stuff, later when I post this video on YouTube, I'll put it in the description. If you guys want to use my referral link, then awesome. I'll also put
come join our Discord group, right?
Yeah, I'll put a link to our Discord as well.
Okay. Got your referral code. Okay. I've made my account. Okay. Sweet, dude. This is awesome.